I would like to really compliment the organizers of this particular program for bringing together students from across the country and practically from first standard onwards. I think it's a great event according to me, because bringing in students and making them aware at a very early age is going to play a big role in not only their development, but also in the country's development, because the students are the future citizens of our country. And how we are able to provide information to them and also stimuli to them to actually ignite their minds, like what Dr. Kalam used to say, igniting the young minds. And what better way than by providing information and opportunity to this young student community. Today, we are seeing that the world is going through a phenomenal event, what is called as the COVID pandemic. And what this pandemic has shown the world is how a micro, mini, or nanoparticle sized virus has caused complete disruption of life of the entire humanity on the planet Earth. While on one side, the growth of technology has brought in better facilities and better living conditions, and also has made the entire globe into a small village, it has also resulted in a very fast spreading of these kinds of, you can say, viral infections, and then upset the entire human community on this planet Earth. So the development of science and technology, while on one side it has many positives, it also reminds us that there are many challenging scenarios and situations which we encounter, and it is necessary for us to really understand how to tackle them. So today, when you are looking at what is the opportunity available for the young student community to know about the space which we consider as the fourth frontier. Probably all of you are quite familiar that man, as he started developing his skills and capabilities, started actually ruling over land space. Then, as he built ships, boats, and ships, started actually moving over oceans, and then becoming, actually, you can say, ruling over the oceans. Then the aircraft industry came, airspace became available, and today you can see that one can travel from any part of the globe to any other part using aircrafts. And then this air space also has been conquered by human beings. But then space is considered as the fourth frontier, because once you go beyond the planet Earth, then what is there, how we can reach moon, how we can reach other planets, or how we can explore this entire universe. As students and as young kids, we all remember that when we look at the sky, we see, particularly in the nights, you see lots and lots of stars or even constellations. So it's a natural curiosity of human being to wonder what is there, what are these objects, and the objects, whether it is a moon, sun, or other planets or other stars, they are all become objects of curiosity. And then gradually, human beings developed their skills and ability, and then they started developing vehicles which can take objects beyond Earth and then establish them as satellites, etc. In this context, actually, in the early days during the World War time, actually in India, there was some pioneering experiments conducted by one of the persons who used rockets for transporting material to remote places. And like probably you would have heard of air mail, ship mail. Similarly, he started what is called as rocket mail. And then put in these earlier, for example, whatever rockets were being used by like Tipu Sultan or Hyder Ali or these people, some of those rockets were modified and then using them, putting the both the courier type of thing and also material, transporting even material during times of drought or even flood. They were attempting to send beyond 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers. Some of the attempts were made at that time. But then gradually, as the World War ended and beyond that, the rocket technology development ensured that human beings found a way of reaching out to space. And as you are all quite familiar, the very first satellite or an object was put into space by Russians way back in 1957. Then since that time, continuously human beings are improving on their ability to build rockets and then send satellites and instruments in various different orbits. Actually, I'm seeing that in this entire program, you have got special lectures being provided by people like Nagrani, who is going to explain to you the many things about space technology, etc. But today, the young kids and young students, what they need to really appreciate is India is actually among very few countries in the world which has established itself in the space technology area. You are among the 5 or 6 countries in the world which has the ability to build launch vehicles, build satellites, build instruments on that, and using them provide specific application. In fact, I'm seeing in the program, there are a large number of talks being planned where you will get to know how these things have been achieved and what kind of applications are possible, how these are being done. But then looking at future, the space, when it is becoming the fourth frontier, naturally, what we are going to see is man wants to actually get onto moon or even other planets and go well beyond the solar system and travel to other interplanetary things. But for all that, what is required is today's technology is very inadequate. See, if we take today's technology, it takes almost 9 months to reach Mars. So you need to build launch vehicles and systems which can put objects at very high speeds. Today, our ability is putting objects into space maybe between 10 to 30 kilometers per second. But many of you are quite familiar, light travels at 3 lakh kilometers per second. So even at that speed, if you want to receive signal from interplanetary or even stars, etc., it takes many years for that signal to reach us. Even our own case of Mars mission, it was taking almost 14 minutes for the signal we were sending from ground to reach the satellite in Mars. So the challenges are many. Today, the world is actually going beyond government institutions operating in space. You have already seen very recently, American companies are trying to do space tourism, where any untrained person can go into space and come back in a matter of few minutes. And in future, what is expected is you will have hotels or resorts in space. People can go to that, stay there, and then build habitations on different planets and then travel. So these are all actually very, you can say, exciting opportunities. So apart from space tourism, you also have opportunities of actually exploiting the planets and other planetary bodies or even asteroids, mine them and bring in articles or material which is of great value. So in all this, if the next generation has to actually make a headway, it is important that right from childhood, they get excited about what is happening in space. And if that has to happen, it's only by specifically bringing in information about what is happening, not only within the country, but also globally, and also otherwise provide all these students and young community a place for showcasing their ability to think and bring in new concepts. It's actually today the world is moving at such a fast pace, and the knowledge gaining and knowledge acquisition is also becoming a very big challenge, because technology is growing at a tremendous pace. Today, many of you would have been hearing about what's happening in actually artificial intelligence or machine learning, etc. How is all this happening compared to earlier decades when you used to use calculators for doing calculation? Then the computers came, and the computers have come today with speeds such that it is said today, for example, the processing speed of the processor in your mobile is far better than what NASA used for whatever computer it was using during the manned moon missions. So you can see that as time progresses, the processor chips are becoming more and more powerful, and it is because of this that human beings are able to actually delegate many tasks which otherwise intellectuals needed to do. Today, the entire thing is becoming virtual, whether it is virtual reality or augmented reality, or even basic capabilities of using 3D printing or robotics. In all these areas, the next generation has to master the technology and then bring in newer and newer solutions. And what I see happening today by this particular program itself is a fantastic opportunity for students across the country. In fact, it's extremely gratifying to see that students from Uttarakhand have the maximum number of registrations for this program. And then the students from very remote places in the country are also trying. In fact, their hunger for knowledge and their hunger for information is very clear, because whatever opportunity they are getting, they are trying to make use of it and learn. So in this context, the responsibility of the organizers is also very significant. Now that they have excited their minds, we also need to see that I'm sure during the course of these 2 days, these students will really get to know a lot more about what has happened in the country and what is happening globally, and what kind of opportunities are there for them to participate in activities of interest, whether it is a space club or even space galleries or conducting experiments. And they in turn can actually tell and inform organizers what new avenues should be chosen for bringing in information to them. Today, I'm also happy to inform you that I came across a group of people who are actually taking mobile planetariums to very remote places, simply inflatable planetariums, and also in that planetarium showcase not only about space but also about what is happening in the human body. See, it's like, suppose you take a small robot, put it inside the human body. As the micro robot travels through the different segments of the human system, it delivers pictures of that. So you can see how your food pipe, one can travel through that, or the intestine, or the way the blood pipes work, or even the brain functions. So like that, there are tremendous opportunity to showcase with the available information through 3D projection systems, virtual reality systems, and augmented reality systems. I think in all this, ISIE can really bring in a novelty or bring in revolution in providing information to the next generation. And I should really compliment the entire team, starting with Mathur, Bharat Mehta, Jain, Jagannath, and then many others who are part of the this program, in organizing this program. And it gives me immense pleasure to inaugurate this function, inaugurate this, and then gives an excellent opportunity for students from all levels. And it's only when these students actually make the best use of the opportunities they have like this and retain their curiosity. Today, one of the things the students have to really appreciate is what human beings have achieved on this planet Earth is all by virtue of what they have observed in nature, and through nature, whatever is there, those mechanisms build with some innovative newer tools and extending and expanding the capability of individuals. As you are aware, each one of us are endowed with 5 sensory organs, and every one of us is actually a remote sensor. We can, when we want to see things at great detail, we go close to the object. That means we transport our sensory systems close to the object. And when we want to get a broad view, we climb on towers, trees, mountains, and get a wide picture. That means you have a mobile system which can take you in different places. Then through the sensory organs, what you get, your brain absorbs everything, gives you the interpretation. And it is only when the human beings are extending the capability. For example, I can see only in a narrow wavelength region of 400 to 700 nanometers. But today you are quite familiar that humans have built instruments which can operate from infrared, microwave, radio waves, or on the shorter side, ultraviolet or X-rays, etc. Same way, going beyond the Earth to look at space so that the intervening atmosphere doesn't affect, and then building huge vessels or vehicles for transporting you to different places, or building microscopes and nanoscopes or 3D printers. So the opportunity is tremendous. The pace at which things are happening is tremendous. But then for us, people who have already gone through a complete revolution of technology, our job is to bring to the next generation with greater and greater ease and igniting their minds, raising their curiosity, and trying to answer their questions to the best of our ability. So in this context, again, I take this opportunity to compliment the organizers for thinking of such a platform, for bringing in people who have experience, who have wetted their hands and gone through this exercise, bring them to the next generation and bring India to a level where in the coming years, I'm sure India should regain its position of Vishwaguru. That means it was actually leading the world in all spheres of life in the yesteryears. And only because of the many of the invasions and then rules, we lost for a period of many centuries. But now, again, we have a tremendous opportunity, and all youngsters have got tremendous scope for showcasing their knowledge and skills, and by learning and then bringing India to the forefront again. So let me wish every one of you students from first standard to whatever level you are participating in this, make use of your intrinsic curiosity and don't let that curiosity die. Keep asking questions to people who can answer. Even if you don't get the right answer, persist. You may get the answer with somebody, if not with X, with Y. And it's only with efforts like that you can learn, and through that you can make world a different place. So thank you very much. Wish you all a great experience in the next couple of days, and wish you all a great career in future. Thank you.